Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Away Day Show. Midweek show's back again, Nathan.
Yep.
Welcome back on, man.
Intellects back
Intellects
again.
are back on the couch. we had the true casuals on Monday. Antonio was back, but
Welcome back, Tots.
we're
I was saying off air, I was going to put a nice sign here saying welcome back, Tots.
welcome back to the big fella.
Good to have him back.
We're back on a midweek here, and it's a lot to talk about this week to cram into an hour 15. It's a lot to sort of touch on all over the leagues. We've got a lot of things happening, turning points, and maybe leagues coming to an end, I guess, in many regards as well, with some results going certain ways. We'll get us kicked off. We'll kick off in Spain this week. Real Girona is our first game I'm going to touch on. Didn't really live up to what we wanted it to be, did it?
Yeah, no.
Real 4-0. I know you're going to keep a clean eye on this game. Were you disappointed as much as I was? Because I wasn't really...
I don't know. I was disappointed because obviously it was 4-0 Madrid. But I actually felt bad for Girona in a way. Because, the 4 goals that Madrid scored were just freakish. All the confidence they would have had going into that game sort of just went out the window in 5 minutes.
Yeah.
With that Vinicius goal. And then his ball to Bellingham was just...
Wow.
You can see 2 goals in the first half where you can't really do anything about.
True.
Right?
Yeah.
So, Girona weren't great, but, they didn't even have a chance really to just get started. Madrid were just all over them, and it was just one of those games, just experience, know-how. Madrid had it all, and you can't be mad or disappointed about Girona. We can sit here and say, oh, this goal could have been avoidable or whatever, but at the end of the day, it's, they're punching well above their weight, and
absolutely,
again, they're not out of it, but it makes it pretty much impossible.
It's a long way to come back.
Yeah, it's a long way. 5 points is
considering what we
feels
are.
like 15 points, to be honest. So.
Exactly. That's the thing, though. I don't think I'm disappointed with their defense as per se.
Yeah, no.
Just that they had a fair bit of possession. They were, I guess, in between the thirds, they were all right. It's just they couldn't really create anything meaningful and obvious, and it just felt like I just wish they had maybe a chance to maybe pull one back or so. But I don't think you can highlight any real chance of that front 3 or front 2 to really make an impact in the game. And that's all fair play to Real, because that's what I was saying with my next point. Their back 4 consisted of Vasquez, Tchouaméni, Carvajal, and Mendy as a back 4. And they kept a clean sheet against Girona.
Yeah.
Carvajal centre back, eh? What a world we're living in. That's when I saw that, because I kept an eye on the Leverkusen Bangor. That was a game I had a very close eye on. So then when I watched it back the next morning, I said, wait, did I say the lineup was correct? Carvajal and Vasquez. And I looked at it. Carvajal at centre back. Tchouaméni at centre back. I was surprised Camavinga didn't play in goal after all.
And they played bloody well.
And they were good.
They were very good.
They just closed down space. But again, on that midfield as well, the midfield helps it, because that midfield was very strong. Cruz in there leading the ball, leading the cavalry. Camavinga with a great performance as well. I just think it doesn't matter who's in the back 4, with that midfield protecting it and also going the other way, it's just remarkable. They're missing they have no centre backs left. Yeah,
exactly. That game to me just highlighted the importance of having a good system and having just a good structure in your team.
Yeah.
Madrid have had problems kind of all season with their centre backs. Eder Militao's been out for a while. Rudiger, I think, did his hammy. I think that was
it's about a month.
It was a hammy or something.
Away.
And to chuck in Carvajal, again, experienced defender, he's been there, done that in every single big game, every single tournament for Madrid or Spain. Tchouaméni's just professional. Just get on with it. You want me at centre back, all right? I'll do it. You know what I mean? But yeah, it's just ridiculous the way that doesn't matter who plays, doesn't matter where they play, they just know how to win.
It's like you age another 10 years when you join a Real. Camavinga and Tchouaméni look like 35-year-old prime.
They'll still play this way when they are.
Oh, they'll be even better.
Next to Toni Kroos.
It's ridiculous.
I think there was talks of him maybe retiring at the end of the year.
And him leaving, but you might have chucked those two in there together in midfield. I don't think that's much of a drop off there at all. Those guys are playing out of their skin right now. And the fact we've had Camavinga play a left back, play centre back. I don't think he's played the wing yet, but he's played on the flank at least. Then you've got Tchouaméni now playing centre back, DM 8.
Yep.
These guys have already done and played every single position you probably need them to play. And they're all 22, 23, exactly. That old. It's
Plus
incredible.
You bring in an Mbappe or,
That's the thing. Then he says the next point, which is the young core. you've got Fede Valverde, Bellingham, Rodrigo, and Vinicius. And those four, everyone played well, but those four themselves, they were the stars of the show. They were like NBA All-Star type stuff. They were making some ridiculous plays. Rodrigo plays a great solo goal. Vinicius,
he was
player of the game for me. That ball, to create that much power, he's outside of his foot, to create all the power, to Bellingham just runs onto it.
Even the third, like the way he's able to dribble past the fullback. Again, it was a bit lucky how Bellingham scored, but the way he created it, the way he created it was just... Like Ancelotti said it, when he plays like that, he's the best in the world.
I think on his night, he probably is the best in the world. Like, and he's not consistent yet, but we see these performances in the Champions League, in these big games in the league. It's just incredible how he can just have so many of these type players. Yeah. And Bellingham gets all the attention, and by the way, incredible, because he makes runs like a striker. That Vinicius ball, that was a striker's run. Yep. I was talking to Tots about it on the Monday show. That, like, how Haaland makes those sort of curling runs where he goes back onside to come back and wrap around to not be offside. Same thing with Bellingham. Held his run a little bit, then made a charging run across the centre-backs, gets it, sits the goalkeeper down. Like, he's just a striker in disguise.
It was one of those games where, if it stayed 0-0 till like the 60th minute, Girona would just continue to kind of build into the game. Yeah. But when you got guys like Vinicius and Bellingham, that just, again, we talk about it all the time with Premier League sides and all these sides. Games like this, your big players need to just step up and prove the difference. And that's what they did. Yeah. You look at, some of Girona's best players like, Ivan Martins, Savio, Dovbyk, all these guys.
Tough games.
Again, they've been great all season, but it was a ridiculously hard game for them inside the first 5 minutes because Vinicius was already killing it. You got Bellingham, who's just, he's got the whole world in his hands, literally.
The world is at his feet.
Literally.
Now, a call for them to win a treble. They could do the poor man's treble.
We'll count it if they do it.
But worrying signs in this Champions League game. Now, you got Bellingham will miss both legs. They won't have a centre-back for this first leg. It's a little bit shaky. This first leg is massive for them. They need to get a result. I'm pretty sure.
I don't think it's that hard.
Leipzig.
That might be a bit of a banana peel, that one.
Absolutely. They're a team that scores a lot of goals. And without, Leipzig away, and without a real back four, and this will go out after the game's been played, so we might look stupid or we might look incredibly intellectual here. It's a very big game for them, I think. Yeah. I didn't realise I was away from home. Got to go there and try and keep a clean sheet or limit them to one goal, because we've seen in some of the Bundesliga games, Leipzig are the kings of entertainment, it feels like. Yep. It's a massive game here for them. Bellingham 2 to 3 weeks, that high ankle sprain. Yep. I don't think any of the centre-backs are back for this one.
No, I don't think so.
So you have to, roll out the same crew again. They can do it,
don't get me wrong.
Them.
You'd still back them.
But it's going to rely on other players to get involved. Brahim Diaz.
Vinicius and Rodrigo, Brahim Diaz. Yeah. If that midfield holds up, they'll be fine.
That's the thing,
it doesn't matter.
If you have to chuck Tony Kroos and Modric in there, and you'll probably win the game with those guys.
They're that good. They're that smart. So,
But definitely, massive result for them. As I said, I was more frustrated with Girona. They couldn't get a chance to maybe get themselves into the game. But you're right. The game got snatched away from them before they could even take a breath at the Bernabeu.
They're still in it.
Still in it.
No, it's very unlikely, but...
No, we're not going to rule them out yet, but uphill. Very uphill.
Very
it's a very steep hill, and they have to climb that a lot. But hey, it's the year of surprise, I think, so you never know. You never quite know with these guys. Yep. Let's have a look at our next team, the other part of the Classico, if you will. Barcelona, again, struggling. It feels like every week they're struggling with something. We touched on recently, they've got some great escapes in recent weeks, but don't let that take away from the performances. There have been some poor performances, and once again, another poor performance to second bottom Granada.
Shocker.
And a 3-3 draw. And if it wasn't for young Yamal, they would be screwed. Because he's the only player that looks half decent at the moment.
There's always a young kid like every kind of year that pops out of Barca these days. They go off for like 6 months and then they're put in that like high
tier,
like Pedri and Gavi and all that. Yeah. So they didn't have him. Yeah, like you said, I don't know where they'd be.
This game was dangerous. They went 1-0 up. Yamal, he scores that one. Lewandowski makes it 2-0. But then like Granada flicked the switch. I think every team seen it. The back line's there where they're weak at the moment. So pressing them high, putting them under pressure. And they they 2 back very quickly.
Were they 2-0 up, Barca?
Barca were 2-0 up. Lewandowski.
I thought it was 1-0, 1-1, and then...
I thought they went 2-0 up. Oh, no, you're right. I don't know, the back post. It was a was it Palestri? Was there?
Palestri crossed it across for the half volley.
Yes, and then
Palestri looking like a messy region in that game. You got to be pretty impressed by that. He was alright.
Nice having the club right now. So said Anthony, Anthony, mate, he's a bump. Yeah. But yeah, once again, saved again. 80th minute. That's the biggest point, is that Yamal scores the 80th minute to save in the game. But like, Barca are just a basket case.
They're making so many mistakes defensively, aren't they?
Like, that was their identity. You lose your identity, what do you expect?
I don't know. I know, obviously, maybe the players are in a bit of shock that Xavi's leaving. I don't know what it is, because you'd think if he's leaving, like, they'd put in a bit of a shift for him.
Like the manager a bit?
Yeah, and even if they're happy that he's leaving, like, kind of play for your spot sort of next year, whoever's going to come in. Or even, I don't know, but yeah, they're just conceding so many goals, and it's been the story of their season. Like how many times have they scored and then straight away they'll concede, or they'll be 2-0 up and concede 2 in 5 minutes? What is it? Is that a mentality thing? Is it just kind of
confidence, mentality, form? Maybe they're just so good last year that we didn't sort of see this sort of change.
It's a big drop off though in some of their players. Like
from the best defense of all time.
Yeah, Araujo's been shocking.
Kunde's been struggling, I think, as well.
Yeah, Kunde's been struggling at right back. I blame him for the second goal. The ball was coming. He didn't like communicate or anything.
Nothing to the runner
either. He's been shocking this year. Yeah, even their midfield. I know they've had an injury to Gavi, which hasn't helped. I think he's probably, along with Pedri, their best midfielder. I think if Gundogan wasn't in that side, they would be.
It was even for the second goal. That was a great.
He's been brilliant all year. Yeah, he's probably been their player of the year, I'd say.
Consistently, always puts a great performance in.
Yeah, they've struggled up top as well. Their forward line's god awful, I reckon. Lewandowski's he's a poacher. Yeah, right? He needs the ball in the box.
He's getting older, he's not getting any younger, right?
Exactly. You can't expect him to
in the 6-yard box. That's where you want him to be.
A 17-year-old. I just hope he's not going to be one of those players, a bit like sort of Gavi's going to be overplayed because like they have to play him because he's so good.
I had some stats about him. I can't know if I still got it. I was going to whip it out last. Worry. I was going to show it last week. Here we go. So this came out last week. So at some point a week ago, in the last 10 days, he had 90 minutes against Osasuna, 90 minutes versus Villarreal, 105 minutes versus Athletic Club, and then 90 minutes versus Betis.
Too much, man.
And that was in the space of 10 days. Like 375 minutes.
Too much. It's too much.
Talk about Fatty, how he was poorly handled.
Yeah.
He's from the next Messi to somebody can't even start for Brighton.
Yeah.
You've got Gavi and Pedri have both gone down with bad injuries. Again, maybe that's not on the minutes play, but if you play, you're more susceptible, right? It's just a simple fact. Now you've got this 16-year-old who's like almost looks generational the way he's playing his football. This season's dead in the water, I feel like, in my mind. They're 10 points off the top. Girona even look like a better football club.
They ain't going anywhere in the Champions League.
I don't think they're going to drop out of Champions League. People questioning if they're going to drop out of top 4. I think that's a bit over the top. But if that comes out, maybe you do play him. But I don't think you need to play him every single week.
Yeah, no.
You're stressing the kid out. Like he's 16.
I know. Even Pedri and Gavi, like they're still brilliant, but they've already picked up big injuries, both of them. Gavi's obviously still. Yeah. I think he's going to miss the Euros. Gavi.
I don't know we don't know how he's going to come back either. Will he be the same player?
Even Pedri still playing well, but obviously the injuries don't help.
It catches up there.
Exactly, it does, yeah. So, but they have to play them because they're their best players. They have to play them.
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough to
and they can't because of like FFP, and they can't spend.
Well, that's the thing. We've got a topic of someone to talk about coming up in terms of the summer transfer news, but even then, can Barcelona afford anything? And they can't even afford to sack Xavi because his payout will be
ridiculous.
Too much.
Yeah.
So they're stuck with 2 hands behind on their back now. They've got no cards to play. They're screwed. They can't really sell anyone. The value of most players that are sellable are not enough money. You're not going to sell Gavi, Pedri. You're not going to sell Yamal. You're not going to sell.
There's been talks of De Jong, maybe.
I think De Jong's.
Have you seen Araujo to Bayern, maybe?
I've seen that mocked up. Is that actually a legitimate thing at the moment? I think De Jong's actually going to go.
If you're Barca, you
have to
kind of have to sell maybe 2 of your big players.
That's the thing.
I know it's stupid, but they got nothing.
They're 5 years away from being back, I think.
Yeah, and they're bringing in a new manager. He'll want his own players. But
you can't pay for anyone to play his own players.
I know.
We look now. Every single new manager has to spend at least 150 million. Looks like.
Yeah.
Right now, it's the way the market seems to work. You couldn't even spend 50 mil. They've done 150 mil. So if you sell De Jong, maybe you get 6, because every club will know now Barca are trying to just palm him off.
Yeah.
You can sell him for 6, you're going to get 60, 70
You
for him.
won't get his true value, which
he's been playing a bit average as well.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah.
I could he'd be an 80, 90
Yeah,
player.
that's what I was thinking. But
if
a club offers 60, I mean, if you're a club, you wouldn't go higher than 60. United will offer 120, but
because the Glazers are there. Yeah,
but you wouldn't offer more than 60, 65.
If I was smart, if I'm a smart,
even Arejo, the way he's been this year, God.
Oh, 50, 40.
Ben White territory.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, just on the cheap side. I'm lost because the back four. This is another thing. The back four they started in this game. We talked about Real's back four.
Yeah, shocking, wasn't it? Yep.
They played Kunde, who I think's been struggling as of really recently. They played Inigo Martinez, who's been alright. I think he's probably one of their better players, but he didn't have a great game.
Yeah.
Cabrassi, who I've not know much info about, couldn't tell you how he's been playing. And they played Cancelo at left back, who another player has been a shadow of himself as well. Yeah. There's players they've brought across that have had good little spells, but have not delivered at all on a high level. I think Lewandowski has some great moments. Maybe the age is catching up.
Yeah.
De Jong, I think this season has been very underwhelming for me. One of the best midfielders in the world last year. I think most people could point that out.
Yep.
This year, I think a shadow of himself. Gundogan's carried that midfield. You're totally right in saying so.
That's their best signing in years.
Yeah, it feels like
it. And it was a free transfer.
It does feel like it. And even Inigo Martinez had a good start to the year, then injuries. I think they ended up playing Christensen at
CDM, I think.
Midfield,
who would have thought?
A 6 that dropped in to help the back. That's how bad they are. They need someone to drop in and help them out. It's just...
Big 6 months with regards to who they're going to appoint as their next manager.
Big moves to be made.
Who do they sell? If they sell any, they're going to have to because they need to bring in new players for just a revamp of the whole squad and the new manager, obviously.
They've still got Rafinha there. They've still got Marcos Alonso there.
That Rafinha deal I'll never get. He was good at Leeds, but we're talking about Barcelona. You know, he was never a Barcelona
They signed
player.
Aubameyang. Actually, Aubameyang's probably one of their better signings when you think back to it.
They
signed Aubameyang, Rafinha. Who else they signed that little period there? Under Koeman, they signed some weird players. And it was just a weird transitional time that I don't think they were quite out of.
Yeah.
And last year, obviously, they clearly just went all in to try and win the league. They did that, but now it's aged like a bottle of milk because it's just fallen apart. And Granada, fair play, Granada probably deserves something from this game. They actually weren't that bad.
Yeah, their goals were good.
But
so
second bottom.
I know. And conceding 3 at home. That's not Barca.
It's the first time.
It's been them this season, but, you know.
What they did last year was they would never concede 3. Let alone to the bottom team.
They concede 3 in a month.
Yeah.
You know? Now they're conceding 3 against second bottom?
Second bottom.
That's outrageous.
Granada have been bad this year. That's their first time they've scored 3 or more goals in a game since November in a Copa del Rey clash against a team that has no logo on Google. Yeah. That's how it was. It was a roster with no logo. So
that's crazy.
That is
crazy.
3 months ago. Last time they scored 3 goals.
Yeah,
and they put 3 past Barca. Chaos.
Yeah, don't know what's. Yeah.
My bold take is
it's been their season, hasn't it?
It's going to be 5 years for me, I think, until they're properly established and stable.
You're not wrong. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, I mean, have a look at Real Madrid and how they're doing. You know, young core. Their team right now is a joke.
Yeah,
their veterans look like they don't age. Their body's still the same.
Prime 24-year-olds.
Yeah. You know, they got money. They're looking at obviously Mbappe, maybe a couple of others. You know, if I'm a Real Madrid fan, I'm laughing at Barca and loving how they're going.
Yes,
their youngsters are great, but the way that they're going to get overrun, overplayed, bunch of injuries, and by 24-25, they'll have hammies that are made of glass. Yeah,
Double Thiago's running around.
I mean, they're Spanish, so you know,
Thiago
regions. Yep.
Yeah, there's been a fair few Spanish recently that have just not lived up because of injuries. So it's worrying.
I'm worried about them because they're really good, aren't they? Pedri, Gavi, Yamal. But
that's a good point. You're totally right because we're not going to see Gavi into a long time. So God knows what he's going to come back like.
Because he's going to have to come straight back in, isn't he? They're going to have to keep playing Christensen at DM and, you know.
Because I had him when he was last playing, I think he was actually better than Pedri.
Yeah, I think he is better than Pedri.
I think he's an all-round player. I think he's a better player. I think Pedri's very smart and he got the better moments out of him.
Yeah.
But Gavi just gives me an Iniesta feel where he's just like, he just won't have a bad game. But now he has his injury. He comes back, is he a bit slower on the ball?
Yeah. I mean, he's a young lad. He's going to need time to get back into it.
Yeah.
So, But they're going to be like,
no, we
need you now to play 8 out of 10 every week.
Yeah.
Because without you, we're playing Christensen at DM and we got no money. So
so you have to play.
And even if they had money, I wouldn't trust them to make the right signings. They haven't done it in the past. So I don't know. It's a big.
Summer talking point. We're going to hear most weeks talking about Barcelona, it feels like. And their manager hunt and their player hunt. But yeah, massive for Granada, who keep them somewhat afloat, and at least in the battle. They were slipping very far off the pack.
Afloat.
Yeah, they're still them and whoever's bottom. They're a long way off it, like a very long way away. Yep. A team that's escaping the bottom is Sevilla, and it leads on nicely because Barca are struggling, but a team that bottled their chance to go and close up is Atletico. He lost 1-0 to Sevilla. Sevilla are a weird team. They love a European competition. The last few years have been in the relegation battle at some point in the season. This year they struggled. They started 1 win from their first 7. They've changed manager twice, I think. Yeah, and now Kike Flores Sanchez, the former Watford managers, end up there.
He's bounced around.
Everywhere. But you know what he's done? He's fixed his team up. They've won 3 in their last 5. Since joining December, he's turned it around. And I think now they're 5 points out of the drop. 7 points in the last 3 games, and 6 points clear of the drop zone.
Yep.
So fixed up a little bit. For a club like Sevilla, a team that was playing City in a Super Cup not long ago, you can't be in a relegation battle. No.
They've got some experienced guys, like Ramos is there.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Jesus Navas.
Even this year in the Europa League, I think they came last. Or was it Champions League they came last? No,
Europa League. No, they would have been champions because they won the Europa League.
Yeah, how could I forget? They win it every bloody year. But they came last, so good for Liverpool.
No chaos in the Europa League.
But yeah, they're just I don't know what's happened to them recently. They're just like last couple of years. Obviously Europa League,
4th and around that spot, and then last 2 years they were definitely in relegation battle last year, but until the new manager came in, Mantilla came in, they beat us in the Europa League because they love a Europa League knockout game, knocked us out.
They're the Real Madrid of the Europa League. Yeah.
They had dun. They're just like they're prime moments. But yeah, you're right. So you signed Ramos. You've got Jesus Navas there as a consistent performer, and El Series there as well.
I don't know a whole lot of their players. I don't watch barely any of them, but I do keep an eye on them because they are a relatively big club in Spain. Yeah, and obviously their Europa League success as well
speaks for itself.
But yeah, like just seeing the ladder like throughout the past couple of months and seeing them like it's been like, whoa, that's very concerning.
It's very low.
Yeah,
and maybe now the turning points come. Like in this game here, they're actually very, very impressive. They could have been 2 or 3 up. Young Romero, I need to have a look at this kid because he looks very impressive. He scored the winner.
The commentators were raving
loving about him as well. Yeah, he scored the win in the end, but he could have had 2 or 3. One off the crossbar, one he should have put away.
Yeah.
He looks like a nice young player to keep an eye on. Well, coming out of that system. Yeah. And just Atletico
this Morata. Oh my God, man, he misses.
So at 1-on-1, you have to put that away.
Yeah. I know the first half, the header he had, I think it was offside, but honestly, because that just kills, that honestly hurts the entire team. When you see your striker
just missed that
in the 6-yard box, easy header, and hits the post.
And Griezmann had a grub chin in the safe, and their keeper was on
they just
one.
Couldn't score.
It was one of those games. It was quite even, and Sevilla's a hard place to travel to. I think.
It was a bit like Juve's game, which we'll get on to a bit later.
It's exactly the same sort of feel. It was a 1-0 game where Atletico weren't bad. Sevilla weren't great, but Sevilla were good and Atletico were just off it.
Yeah.
And the keeper was doing a mad one and they were creating some great chances early on. They just in the second half just seemed to fly by.
Yeah, they'll be very, very disappointed about that. Yeah, they are 4th.
They're still there, but still, they'd want to get above Barca.
They should be right on Barca's tail.
Considering how bad Barca have been.
Yeah.
And because I've been, like today, I woke up to some reports and the podcast here and they're talking about Barca missing Champions League. And I thought, we had teams that you had to make up points on them because right now it seems like no one wants Champions League.
Yeah, Bilbao are kind of... Betis have obviously the Isco injury, which has probably killed their chance. Them out. So, yeah.
I guess a bit like I saw Las Palmas has actually done well racing as well. And they're a team similar to Granada came up and I think they're sitting 8th at the moment. And they're a team, again, like a Girona, maybe just, they might squeeze and knock a team out of a European spot. Maybe, that's a good news story that I was reading about as well.
A bit of a run, though, I imagine.
They're not as consistent, but they're a team that's good at the back. They concede like less than a goal a game, I think, on goals conceded. They're decent at home. They're taking it to Barca at Barca. They took it to Madrid.
They were decent against Madrid,
They required some worldies from Germany and the like to
they weren't bad.
Get that result as well. So I've just kept an eye on them, and then I was looking at the ladder and how things might work out with this whole Barca's going to drop out. But there's a few teams there that if they can get there, get back and focus up like Athletic Club, or like if Betis can somehow find some form, if Las Palmas can cause some chaos in there as well.
It would have to take a hell of a fall off for Barca or Atletico.
One of those guys to get him out. But
you never know.
People have been talking about it this morning, and I think it's quite interesting that people,
as you said, it's been a weird,
it's a funny old year.
Funny old year
in general.
Yep.
You know what won't be funny is our top 10 right backs list because I'm stressed these days in my list. I'm scared I'm going to forget someone.
Great moving into the next segment.
Classic segue. I'm getting good at these now. So we've got top 10 right backs. We've done managers when the whole manager movement's happening. We did 5 goalkeepers 2 weeks ago. We've got a bit of a gap this week, so I thought we'd slide in our top 10 right backs in the world right now.
Yep.
This is going to be an interesting one because I feel like I missed a few names in here, but that's the fun and games of our list.
Very interesting.
Do you want to go one for one?
Yeah.
You happy to go first?
I'll go first. Number 10. I've got Molina.
Whew, that's good. I got him as well.
Yeah.
I feel happy with that.
Obviously, I know it was a while ago, but his World Cup performance was, I thought, really, really strong. I didn't really know who he was.
Neither.
Then I watched every Argentina game because of, obviously, my GOAT, Messi. But yeah, he was really, really good. Scored a banger against the Netherlands as well. But what I like about him at Atletico is, like, I've seen Simeone go to a 4-4-2 and he's played it right back. But then I've seen him switch to like a 3-5-2 or like a 5-3-2 with Morata and Griezmann up top. And I like his versatility they're the same, obviously people say they're the same sort of position, but right wing back, you're a lot more kind of higher, wider. And his ability to play both those positions well and not have like a drop in his form because he gets, if they're playing a 3 back, he's not getting caught too high up. So I love his ability to be able to play both those positions and to play under Simeone. You have to be very good both ways. Yeah, and he is that. That
was my point in different to where I was. Yeah, the big thing I like about him is he does both things very well.
Yeah,
like in a Simeone system, exactly. You have to be very strong defensively, but with this new style they're playing, he has to contribute something on the forward end, and you see him get involved. And obviously, not like some of the other guys that play very good in triangle. He's not quite that level, but on the ball, very comfortable. Makes the right decisions. A good decision maker, which I think all Atletico players have instinctively in their brain.
Yep.
But yeah, defensively first. Same to you. I didn't quite know what it was all about until that World Cup. Like, this is a player here that I've got here. So yeah, very impressive. And since that World Cup, I think he's been one of the most consistent.
I think he came from Udinese to Atletico.
I think it was.
I think it was a bit like sort of like he had a lot of improvement in his game. But I mean, right now he's he only picks him for the big games.
Exactly. So. He's one of those 6, 7 out of 10 players every game. He's not going to give you a bad performance.
Yep.
Bill number 9.
Are you doing? Is he your number 10?
He's my number 10 as well. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm happy.
Good start.
We agreed. Yeah.
Number 9, I've got Calabria.
He just missed out for me. Yeah, fair enough.
It's obviously their skipper. You said it well last week about AC. It's quite a average kind of team. With obviously like Pulisic, Loftus-Cheek, these kind of guys. They've got a couple of star players like obviously Maignan and all these guys. But I think, he's a really good right back. Again, he can go up and down. And he's one of those players where, he's such a good leader on the pitch.
Yeah. That
when Milan have been struggling, like against Napoli, for example, it was a very tight game. Both teams had chances. And you needed like a player like Calabria just to kind of calm everything down a bit. He plays every game. He's hardly ever injured.
He's always there.
Yeah, always there.
First name team sheet.
For Italy as well. So, got him number 9.
I was very close to putting him in. Very close. He was someone I've been tossing up with this guy. I went Benjamin Pavard as 9, who, this is the thing.
Nice.
And this is maybe to your point about Molina, but the other way around. He could be classed as a centre-back because he does play right centre-back in the 3.
I was going to put an Inter one in there, but they kind of like Darmian sometimes plays there, Dumfries.
Well, I've got another Inter player in this list as well.
Another one. I like it.
They both are a little bit lower down because they're not always going to play because it's Inter, right? You got to put some play because they're so good. And you know what I like about Pavard and the guy who I'm going to put in next as well? The delivery into the area is pristine. That's the thing with watching Inter, I've appreciated. Their delivery into the box is probably the best outside of Real Madrid. I don't think
both their wing backs,
and when the like the Mkhitaryan sort of drift out wide. No wonder Lautaro scored so many goals and Thuram's getting so many goals. The delivery into the box is pristine. And the game we'll touch on later on, some of the deliveries in that wet condition to get him pinpoint. It's like, what can these guys not do? So Pavard, I know he's a little bit right centre back, right wing back. He can change around a bit, but he's been one of just those consistent players. And you thought going to Inter, may his career just sort of disappear just vanish into the dust of Italian football from Bayern. But he's been a contributor for this top team and arguably the third best team in the world at the moment. So had to get him in there.
I regret not putting an Inter player in now. I should just put one of them in. But
there's three of them.
I originally had Dumfries at 9.
Yeah.
But then even in some of the big games, they've played Darmian out there. Even Pavard's shifted out there. So, but that's a good shout.
You're number 8.
Number 8, Kieran Trippier.
Oh, you get him lower. Okay. Yeah.
I know there's been a bit of a drop off the last kind of couple of weeks. I hope he doesn't drop off again like what happened last time.
Well, rumour has it happened a little bit higher. So
but kind of before the start of the season, you'd probably have him as the second best right back in the Premier League.
Yeah, definitely.
Maybe even the best right back.
Yeah.
So obviously there has been a drop off, but again, he's come to that Newcastle side and he's been the exact player that they needed at that moment.
Yeah.
Someone that wanted to be there, not just for the money, but for the project and what they were trying to build. And, he's a consistent sort of 7, 8 out of 10 player.
Yeah.
His set pieces are really, really good. If it wasn't for how good Ward-Prowse was, we'd be saying for this guy to be on every single...
Absolutely.
For England. Number 8 for me.
Yeah, good for FPL as well. Number 8 then, I touched on it prior, I went Dumfries.
Yeah.
I think on his day, he's probably the best out of all three of them. The thing is, I think probably Darmian's preferred because he's more consistent, I think, in terms of puts a 6, 7 out of 10. But Dumfries at his best, and we saw at the World Cup as well. I think he was very good at that World Cup in terms of, this guy's actually a solid player. He's not just sort of an average player. And been very impressed, ever since he's, again, part of Inter Milan, right? The team that's lost one game in the league or season. Bit more progressive.
Yeah.
Not as defensive solid as some of the other interruptions, but very good both ways and quick.
Yeah.
Quick, very, very fast, which comes in handy. So, number 8, just ahead of Pavard, I think he's got more of the X factor for me. That's why he's number 8 for me.
Yep, very nice. 7, I've got Mazraoui from...
You got him in. Yeah, nice, yeah.
I think him being out when he was out for that little bit, I think he had a bit of an injury. I think that hurt them. Obviously, they were looking at bringing in Trippier.
Yeah.
But I think he's a really good right back. Again, can do both things really, really well. And with him being out with that injury, they missed him big time. They were shuffling it about. I don't even know who they were playing there. I think they might have changed formation. They might have gone 3-5-2 or something.
I'll have a look, but
he was a big out when he was injured, and he's just a brilliant right back. And when you're a right back for Bayern Munich,
says a fair bit about
So
let's see who they played.
I don't know who they even played there.
I put Lema at right back.
Yeah,
very versatile.
I know they brought in, is it Bowie from?
Yeah, he came in recently as well. Yeah,
as a bit of a replacement kind of thing while he was injured, but he's back now. So,
and Guerrero went right back for a bit as well. So just chucked a few names.
Playing a left footer.
Yeah,
right back,
no wonder that struck you so
exactly.
much. Yeah, fair enough. I went number 7. Maybe it's a bit probably could have switched 6 or 7 around, but I'll stay with it. I went Di Lorenzo at 7.
Yeah, nice. Yeah,
a little bit.
Nice.
I could be a little bit high, but again, I feel like there's some very good balls into the box that come from the Serie A.
Yeah.
This guy is always good. Never puts in a bad game, and that's a good sign of a right back. I feel like, and all these sort of players here, that's high. They just got consistent performances. A lot of competition at Italian backline, but I feel like someone that could go in there if they have an opportunity for maybe DeMarco or something, might swing him out the other way. But always been good for Napoli.
Yep.
Consistent performer. A part of obviously a win last year, the Scudetto. So you've got to take that into account as well. Probably like a lot of the Napoli players had a bit of a drop off this year, but I still reckon still one of the top right backs in the world the way he plays his football. So can't go past him for number 7.
Number 6.
Number 6 is
Di Lorenzo. Number 6. Yeah,
like it
again. Like you said it perfectly. Obviously, there's been a bit of a drop off in probably all the Napoli players.
Yeah,
but you can't put that on a right back. You know, again, he still does his job.
Yeah.
Still plays every week, barely injured.
Mm.
Can go forward and score an absolute banger here and there as well.
He's locker.
Yeah, number
Definitely.
6.
My number 6, it doesn't look good after what we just talked about them. I went Jules Koundé at 6. Ooh. This time last year could have been much higher.
Yeah,
but
he's not in mine.
You know, and that's the thing, the drop has been bad.
There's so many mistakes, isn't he?
I got to give him some credit for last year, though.
Yeah,
so,
I know.
Again, I probably should put Di Lorenzo 6 and him 7. But yeah, when he was on his form,
he was very good.
This is a guy that's big, strong, pacey, and someone that just like, I remember United going against Barcelona, I just felt like you don't want to go down that side. You just didn't want to go where Koundé was because he just has the ability to just command space. He's a bigger guy, bigger presence, and his challenge, he's got that ability to make a lunging tackle and not miss it. And he wasn't normally out of position. This year's a different story. There's a lot of mistakes.
And he's still got the pace to like keep up with
he can close down. And maybe it's a sign of he's just got the disease of everyone else on the team. It seems like everyone's being cursed with each other. Recent weeks he's really struggled. That's why it's hard for me to put him this high. But last year was so remarkable. I feel like it'd be rude not to put him somewhere in this list. So he's a very high number 6.
Yep. No, that's good. Top 5s.
Top 5s.
Number 5, Danny Carvajal.
You put him in there? Okay.
Yeah. Again, he's one of those players where like I used to do this. You look at the Real Madrid team sheet, you see Carvajal right back and you go, oh yeah, I reckon Mane could go after him or something like that.
Yeah.
But then in game you're like, oh my God, like Carvajal again. So he's just one of those players. He's not like, technically he's not a Trent or defensively he's just great. Going forward he still can do. But he's been one of those guys that every single Madrid team in the last God knows how many years, he's been at right back. Yeah. He's always there. He always plays. Ancelotti always picks him. Zidane always picked him. All these managers always picked him and he always played. Same thing for Spain, and I think he'll probably go down as one of the most underrated right backs of all time. Yeah. Because yes, he's won everything, but he played with players like Modric and Kroos and Ronaldo and Benzema, and these guys will take the credit. Yeah. But a guy like Carvajal has always been there and has always played. Yeah. So
the super consistent.
Yeah. I couldn't leave him out of my top 5.
Yeah, I have a stinker. I was going to put him in, but maybe I've been too recent.
He's not like flashy. He just always plays.
That's the thing. I said the only thing because this year they're trying to phase him out with like Vasquez playing at fullback. So he's played a lot at the start of the year, and then they tried this different thing. So yeah, maybe I've been too harsh on him. I went Trippier at 5, still giving him the plaudits I gave him like a month ago. I'm backing him in. He's had some better performances recently. Yeah, Newcastle was a little bit back to where they were. Yeah, that's my number one quote in terms of Newcastle. Trippier was the turning point. That signing changed things. It changed huge perception. It changed momentum. It changed everything. That signing was like a statement signing of, again, he wanted to be there. He's an English talent, and he's a top. They took him away from Atletico Madrid, like a top team in the world. Newcastle did that, so
they were 20th when they got him.
They got him along, and look what happens now. They've made Champions League. They've had some great nights in Paris. This year's not great, but they're turning it around. I think he's been. Whenever he plays well, they normally play well.
They just play,
You look on the weekend, that assist to Bruno for that first goal. Not many players pick that pass out. Yeah. Not many, and especially fullbacks can't really pick that pass out. Last year, I think a top 3 fullback, right back in the world, chopped off a little bit.
Probably the best in the Prem.
Yeah, probably the best in the Prem. Yeah. Loved his work, so I got him at number 5.
Yep. I think I've got him a bit too. I think I'm a bit harsh on him, to be honest.
It's fair though. It's been a dodgy start here.
Still. Number 4, Frimpong.
Yeah, agree with that. Yeah. Big jazz.
He didn't even play on the weekend. And
when he came on though,
I know, because that pace is a joke.
Yeah.
But yeah, again, he's what Alonso's done with him. His ability to go forward and impact the game, but also defensively, he's like closing down sort of speed. Yeah. Even when you think you've gone past him, he's caught up to you. Yeah. The 3-5-2, it suits him and Grimaldo perfectly. And what his form along with that whole team's been amazing. And he's 20. What's he? 23. Something like that. He's still young.
He just feels like he's been around for so long. He's bounced around so many different teams. That's the thing that you raise that great point. Defensively in this system works really well, but this is a player I've said. Yeah, he was trying to transition into a winger to a number 10 in the midfield at times. Never worked out. Yeah. And they finally landed a position at right wing back.
He might struggle in a back 4.
That's the thing. I think,
but
But
so might Grimaldo, but it's you know what I mean?
But we've seen Pedro Porro, who I thought would struggle in a back four. He's turned it around this year.
Yep.
Frimpong can do the same thing. If you get the right management and if he keeps developing his game, this is one of those right backs that is not quite the Carvajals. It's more of a flashier player, but can definitely develop that consistent part of his game.
Yep.
This year, though, he has to be in every top 5, top 4 because he's been ridiculous.
100%. Yep.
The big three now. What order have we got our big three?
I've got Hakimi at number 3.
I've got Hakimi at 3.
Yeah. Good. We're much closer this week with our list.
Hakimi is just that World Cup. Tick.
Unbelievable.
What he does for PSG. Tick. Like
again, we both don't watch Liga.
But I say enough of Hakimi to
always there.
Yeah.
You hardly ever hear him injured.
No.
His work at Inter was brilliant. It was at Madrid, obviously, but then and you know he's been a mainstay of that PSG team. Brilliant for Morocco.
Vision, IQ as well. I think it's
going forward defensively. You could make an argument that he's the best right back in the world.
I think on his day,
you could. But
Ryan, I think he's in the same sort of build as a Trent. I think Trent does it better, but they both have that ability to find the most ridiculous passes. They're quick. He's probably a better defender in terms of closing down and making that challenge.
Yep.
But what they both do, though, their IQ and their passing range is what separates them from the rest. And that's what was so big for Morocco, because he was not only closing and making the challenge, he's picking the ball up and pinging a ball to El Naziri and holding it up.
Getting assists and stuff.
It's ridiculous.
It just annoys me that he's at PSG.
Yeah, ruins his legacy a little bit.
You know, I don't want to watch. As good as a player is, I don't want to watch PSG.
If you're that interested, that'd be exciting.
Imagine. God.
Get him there. Jeez.
Bring him back.
Yeah. Go on, sign him up. I'm a fan of that. No, top 2. I think we would be on the same track.
2, Trent.
Oh, no. I went Walker 2.
Oh.
Walker number 2.
I went Trent Alexander-Arnold number 2.
Wow.
Yep.
Not number 1. Not at the
I wanted to put him number 1 so badly, but I can't because of the amount of times I see wingers running past him just with ease.
True.
And he will go down as one of the best right backs to ever play in the Premier League without a shadow of a doubt. But his defensive work sometimes it doesn't matter how good he is going forward at times. You know, Martinelli just takes the piss out of him. You know, there was so many times Martinelli it's one touch and he's past him. And his tracking back is not great.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
But again, when you've got guys like Konate and Van Dijk covering you, you can show your talent going forward, and that's what he does.
Yeah. I think Kyle Walker probably will go down as the Premier League's all-time best right back.
Kyle Walker number 1 for me. Yeah.
I think this season, Trent's been a better player than Kyle Walker.
He probably has, yeah.
I think Kyle Walker's slightly been off it. And the City back line, I thought, I've said it a few times, I thought they'll win the title off defence. It hasn't quite worked that way at all, to be honest. I think Trent's been very solid this year in terms of, the odd player will take the mick a bit, but there's some players that can't go past him. Like, in no fairness, like, you look at that first City game that the Etihad, he had a great game in terms of he scored a goal, but people don't underestimate him and Doku. Doku was like, that was the peak of Doku's form he's had this season. And he had a few moments he got past him, but Trent was equally as good as laying the tackler. And I always point to that, when everyone has a go at Trent, I say, you watch the City game back for me, you tell me a better player in the first 45, 50 minutes than Trent.
Yeah, you're not
because
wrong.
a few times Doku got past him, but he was covering back and helping out, and then he scores this ridiculous goal. And how did Liverpool get the point at City that day? I think it was Trent, because Doku could have had a field day and scored 2 or 3 at half time, but he didn't. And Trent scored a goal to tie it all up.
Yeah, you're bang on, to be honest.
And I know, and as a Liverpool fan, you obviously got to holler about Martinelli, because Martinelli's done him in a few times now.
Even just like wingers like Sheffield United's wingers and Burnley wingers on the weekend, they just breeze past him.
Yeah, that is true.
So, and like, it gets frustrating at times because some of it's just so basic.
Yeah.
Like, Martinelli takes one touch, and okay, players can beat you for pace, that's fine, but it's closing down, and his positioning is. Again, I wanted to put in one so bad, but Kyle Walker, when like Reece James, Wan-Bissaka, Trent were like on the rise, everyone was debating between them three who was the best. Kyle Walker's always been number one. He's always been the best. He's been the best for probably 5-6 years, to be honest.
I think he'll go down as Premier League. You know, the all-time 11s. There's by time. Gary Neville's had too long on that 11, so they'll get him out of there.
Kyle Walker in,
Kyle Walker's one of always being consistent. I think this year though, Trent's been better player this season. which probably goes against my normally I go for the last 18 months or so. Probably the bet over the last 18 months as well. But I love a bit of Trent in my life. So
I love Trent, but I just can't put him one. I just can't do it.
You can't do it to yourself.
I want to, but Kyle Walker's he's the only player in the world that can stop Mbappe.
And Vinny.
And
Vinny's touching that as well. Vinny's the only player that Vinny's never gotten the better of is Kyle
When Trent
Walker.
plays Vinny, it's raps.
Yeah.
So
Good point.
But, as you said, this year he probably has been better.
Very impressive with Trent this year.
Yeah.
Let's just go over our list one more time. I went Molina 10, Pavard 9, Dumfries 8, Di Lorenzo 7, Koundé 6, Trippier 5, Frimpong 4, Hakimi 3, Walker 2, and Trent 1.
Good list.
And you went...
I've got Molina 10, Calabria 9, Trippier 8, Mazraoui 7, Di Lorenzo 6, Carvajal 5, Frimpong 4, Hakimi 3, Trent 2, and Kyle Walker number 1.
Same top fours, just a little tweak there.
Little tweak at the top.
Yeah.
Don't mind it.
We see things the same way. It's good to see.
No, it's good.
After last week, we had a few different ones. This week, we're bang on.
We're back.
We're on the money again. Now, quickly to Germany. I did a video on this on the weekend because I had to, and I was watching the game, and I was just sitting there in awe almost of what was being done. Leverkusen, obviously the massive 3-0 winners over Bayern Munich, and absolutely obliterated them.
Yep.
By the way, not even close.
Not even close.
Not even close. So from start to finish, just ridiculous. Thomas Tuchel, I said it in the video, he tried to match Leverkusen. And we've said a few times that Bayern have gone to a 3 at least once or twice this year, but that's not their formation. But for some reason, they bring in Eric Dyer, they go to a 3 to try and match Leverkusen. And Leverkusen was like, we're not going to change our style for you. And they ended up bearing down at Leverkusen, where normally it should be, Bayern's big boys coming to town, let's adjust for Bayern.
Yep.
No, it's the other way around, and Leverkusen just went at it. Like, it was a game where they were, like we sort of touched on, they were compact without the ball, and they had to be. But then once they won it back, or when they sprung a press high up the pitch, they were already open. They were springing numbers forward. And like you said, Grimaldo was massive in this game. Frimpong comes on with the late seal in the 93rd minute. But they just got overrun, outworked. And there was one name that shone. It was Florian Wirtz again. He was ridiculous.
What a player.
His market value's gone up by the day.
By the hour, probably, yeah. I mean, it's as good as Leverkusen were, but I was so disappointed in Bayern Munich. And Thomas Tuchel, to be honest. You got a guy in Matthias de Ligt on the bench, and you're starting Spurs' fifth choice centre back, you'd say? In a top-of-the-table clash, when your job is, if it wasn't on the line before, it's hanging by a thread now.
Yep.
I said a couple of weeks ago, I don't think they're keen on him.
You're right.
The Munich board. And I think if he doesn't make a Champions League, I know this is harsh, but if he doesn't make a Champions League final or wins the league, I think he'll go. I think they'll sack him.
12 years on the line, basically.
I think they'll sack him. Again, it probably isn't the right decision. It's probably unfair, but it's Bayern Munich, and you can't, win the league 11 years in a row. And if you're the manager that ends that,
that's
you know what I mean? So Bayern were poor. They didn't. I don't think they even laid a glove. I don't remember them creating a good chance. Nah. Like I think Sane had a shot from the edge of the box, which was kind of tame.
Sane was
Harry
invisible. Harry Kane was invisible.
Don't remember Musiala. I think he worked his ass off, but he just that Leverkusen midfield with Andrić, Xhaka and Wirtz.
Those three.
It's ridiculous, isn't it?
Get him a pay raise.
Even the way they play, like we said last week, Leverkusen are gonna back themselves and just play the way that they did. And to have a guy like Frimpong on the bench with the form he's in, and then just casually bring him on when you're 2-0 up, I think it's just a credit to those players and to Xabi Alonso and his setup and his system, because at the moment, doesn't look like there's a team that's, we're waiting for them to drop points.
When's it going to come?
When is it going to come?
I said it, they've got...
even when they draw games, they're bouncing back with wins the week after.
They have Freiburg, Stuttgart and Dortmund, I think, to go.
Yeah.
As out of the top 7, the only teams that are left to play. Dortmund, hit and miss.
Yep.
Freiburg, it might be a hard sort of 1-0 sort of win, scraper win sort of thing. And Stuttgart again, I think, pretty sure again, or another one of the clubs again. You're going to score goals, so you should be able to win that game as well. They're in box position, 5 points clear.
Yep. That's
Bayern are
big,
rattled.
Yeah.
And this game, he just outcoached him. Xabi Alonso outcoached. He brought in Teller to play up front, and they just pressed hard the pitch. They allowed Wirtz to play anyway.
Players he's playing like Teller. There was another young striker up top.
Someone else in for the game. I had the nose written.
I think there's another young. His name deceives me. Another really young striker up top. They played him and I think it was Teller, and they went with 2 small strikers to get it.
They pressed him hard.
Pressed him nice and high.
Let's have a look. We are talking about.
What was his name? I know it's Teller and there's someone else.
I just respect the ability to go and bench your best right back in Frimpong and change the striker, to work. Adley and Teller. Yeah. So 2 smaller guys that will press. Wirtz almost was then allowed to just be the free roamer. Be the Kevin De Bruyne, be the Cruz. Yep. He picked balls up from as a number 6. He played in behind a striker at times. Some of the balls over the top.
Yeah,
the play.
It should have been way more than 3 as well.
Yeah, it could have been 4 or 5, and that was at half time. It felt like it could have been 4 or 5.
Neuer made some good saves. So.
And the thing is, in this game, the way that Wirtz played so well, it just put a really bad sort of like stain on Musiala. Because Musiala was alright. Again, you said he tried,
yeah.
But Wirtz just made him look like rubbish. Like in the battle of the 2 wonder kids.
It's just so easy for him, isn't he?
He just wanders around.
You said again last week, like the ability just to pick a pass, and like you're bang on about like who else in the world is doing these passes besides Kevin De Bruyne, and maybe Vinicius from the weekend.
Vinicius when versus Girona. Vinicius, it is that though. It's the confidence and then the ability to do it. Because players have confidence, but not many players can nail the passes like he does. And maybe again, it's the system helping him, but he can just roam around. But that's to the coaching. That's the playing the 2 in the midfield, and you're bigger than Andrich and Xhaka. The guys will break the play, be physical, get into tackles, make the Mullers and make the Musialas and all these players make their life hell. And Harry Kane didn't see any of it. Sane was physical. I think he was rubbish in this game. Yeah. The midfield, they didn't play Kimmich either. I know he's been injured. But the big game of the season, you're not playing De Ligt and you're not playing Kimmich.
Why are you playing Eric Dyer? What
has Harry Kane got on Thomas Tuchel?
Is he seeing something that no one else in the world is?
Not even Big Ant. If Big Ant doesn't see it, no one sees it, right? That's
like 5th choice centre-back.
They were playing Davies at centre-back.
They were playing Davies, Emerson and Porro as centre-backs. And this guy's starting for Bayern Munich in the top of
in the big class.
When his job is, before this game he was under pressure.
Now he's on the top.
There's been talks of I don't know if you've seen Mourinho potential being ready. Now
it's a Mourinho type job to get it done.
If they don't win next game, they'll be 7-8 points off Leverkusen if they win. I think
Stuttgart.
He's shooting himself. I don't get. De Ligt was 100% fit as far as I'm concerned.
He doesn't like him though. He's never really preferred.
But he likes Eric Dyer.
The versatility of Eric Dyer in English speaking.
I don't. Even with Dyer, have you seen him in his interviews trying to speak like a German accent and everything?
I'm on the Audi Cup.
That was embarrassing, man. Oh my god,
it's a stinky Eric Dyer.
Tuchel's just as disappointed as I was in Bayern Munich. I was more disappointed in him.
Yeah,
I thought he would.
It's hurting my credibility because I put him in the top 5 in managers.
But rightly so because of his job at Chelsea and stuff.
Stunk it up though with Bayern.
It's just
some managers are. Bayern is underrated in terms of how hard it is. People talk about Real Madrid, Man United, Barcelona. Bayern's a very hard job as well. We've seen the last 3 managers, Hansi, Flick, Nagelsmann and Tuchel. We're talking about arguably some of the top 10 managers currently going around the world.
Yep.
All failed in different ways. It's not an easy gig.
Guardiola didn't win the Champions League with Bayern, did he? Or did he win it once?
He won it once. He won it once with them, yeah.
When
they beat Dortmund.
I think of the team they had with Robin
Ribery,
Lahm, a prime Neuer, Boateng. It's a hard job, like you said. But again, if they were losing and he was playing the players he should, and it was just players are just out of form, that's not a coach's fault.
No,
but he's picking Eric Dyer.
Yeah,
Eric Dyer,
changing a system to suit the opposition where they're Baylor, and I get it, they're playing some great football. But you're big old Bayern Munich who come to town and batter teams 5-0. You don't change your system for one game.
No, that's
embarrassing.
Especially leaving your 3 defenders like Kim and Jae, Dyer, and
who played?
Who was the other one? Oh my god!
It's been so long. I've looked at so many different games that They played Upamecano.
Upamecano, yeah. Like, not relatively quick centre-backs. To leave them exposed against a Leverkusen team that you know presses high and bombs forward is...
Our coach outplayed.
Yeah.
It's pretty simple in the end,
Just also being stupid as well.
I
I just can't get over Eric Dyer playing. He hasn't played football this year as well. He hasn't played.
Big Ange is a good manager. If you got to respect him, what do you see?
That could very well be the loss that avoids all confidence in the board having,
the players as well. If you're Delit, get me the hell out of here. Yeah. If you're not getting picked,
Eric Dyer over me. He must be sitting there thinking, I've got a guy that was 5th choice at Tottenham over me.
It's like Rafa Varane and United, but he was getting picked with Johnny Evans and Maguire, and he
might be worse. This might be worse. Because at least Johnny Evans actually played all right.
Yeah, Johnny Evans has been playing at least. He hasn't been missing for the last 8 months.
Again, they can still win the league, of course. But
this is more of a chance than Girona, but still, right now, the
way they're looking, and like with what's rumoured to be going on around that club with Tuchel's position and the board kind of like, what's going on here? Yeah.
Nervy moment.
Very. Yeah, that's a big concern. Champions League, don't see them going far. Especially they're playing Eric Dyer over...
Champions League or bust, it looks like.
I think, as I said, if they don't make the Champions League final or they don't win the league, I think Bayern will at least look around and talk to other managers, for sure.
It could be adios.
Yeah, could be.
Adios for the big man. When you talk about Eric Dyer playing centre-back, a centre-back that's gone around the market at the moment, he's been on the market for a while, but an interview came out this week to John Claire Todibo, where we future may lay. And I just want to chuck it out. There's more just a short segment to talk about where we think he's going to end up, because Manchester United have been in for him now for 2 seasons. Chelsea are joining the race. We're surprised maybe Liverpool is in there as well.
Maybe, with Matip leaving, With
a new manager, maybe they want something like that as well. Barcelona, if they get any money left, that could be a sign to try and strengthen the back line up. 6'3". He's ranked 12th in terms of progressive dribbles, and so progressive ball playing player, and somebody who's got a lot of IQ, can read the game, close spaces, and quite aggressive centre back. Suit really nicely alongside Lisandro Martinez. Wouldn't be upset with that at all.
Does he start over Varane for you?
I wouldn't pick him over Varane, but it looks like Varane's not going to be there next season.
He might be leaving.
Yeah, so the French for the Frenchman, I wouldn't be upset with that.
Yep.
You're looking probably at 45, because it was about 35 last year that United didn't go for him, but probably at 45, 50 now. One of the best. I think it's still a good value. Yeah. One of the best centre-backs going around. We've seen what's LaLiga done. The French talent that come across the Premier League has worked. Like, I don't know if Chelsea... Yeah, Canate as well. I don't know if you're Chelsea want to go for another centre-back again, but apparently they're really seriously tracking him down.
Thiago Silva is on his last legs.
Good, and Fofana's always injured, so maybe you find that spot. I think it'd be a very nice fit for United. Liverpool, I wouldn't mind seeing him there as well.
Maybe.
You have him, Canate, and Van Dijk as a 3 to rotate through. Or you have them as a 3. If Xabi Alonso comes across.
I think more sort of, if Alonso was to come across, I think Hincapié would be over Todibo. But
interesting that he'll be probably shopped around a little bit though.
Yeah.
They conceded 14 goals this year, best defensive record in Liga.
Jeez. That's
doing a Barca numbers.
That's class, yeah.
There was 11 not too long ago. I think they conceded 2 or 3 in the last game. So
damn.
Yeah, so they've been very good.
They're second?
They're second in the league. They're 10 points off PSG though. So
of course.
Don't get I ain't watching League One. I just done some research. I'm not watching League One. Don't get me wrong. But he's played alongside Dante, so a very slow centre back. But obviously he's probably learned a fair bit off that guy. He's an experienced Bayern Munich type player. Where do you reckon he ends up? Does he end up at Bayern maybe?
Yeah, potentially. Yeah, if De Ligt's going to go. Potentially. I
don't think he ends up in this Italian clubs have already set at the back.
I think if Varane leaves, because you'll get a bit of money from it. Will it be for free? Is this Varane's
last? It might be for free, yeah.
Okay, but then you release a bit of his wages as well. Yeah. I think United would be a good fit.
Yeah. The Chelsea one's good. I didn't think about the whole.
I can't see like an Arsenal. I know Tottenham were interested in him last
January.
season.
They were interested as well. I'm pretty sure as well. Actually, that's a good shout.
But they've just bought in Dragusin, so
as well.
I doubt that. Serie, I mean.
I don't think he gets in an Inter side. Doesn't get into Juventus side.
I don't think they need defenders.
AC probably not.
AC no.
Maybe Napoli.
Barca, I just don't think they got the money, and I think they'll want to look at maybe other targets. Yeah. Maybe forward line they'd want to look at Barca first. Yeah. I'd say Man United or Chelsea. Probably I'd lean towards United. For him, I think it'd be a better fit because I know Chelsea have picked up a bit of form since we slandered them last week. Of course.
Saying that, they did like scrape a 3-1 versus Crystal Palace.
Yeah, I know, but they smashed Villa.
They smashed Villa.
Enzo
Villa
just decided to, think it's the World Cup and play like Messi
again.
was Cole Palmer. So, I'd probably lean towards United. I think they'll be the ones to sort of like be the first kind of bidders, especially with Chelsea and FFP. We don't know what's going on there.
Yeah, true, actually, yeah.
And with Varane, we'll probably, if it is a free transfer,
I think Varane's heading.
Yeah, he'll leave before, they'll know he's leaving before the window.
Pre-signing sort of thing, get it done early.
Yeah. I think Man United, I'd say.
Good little partnership, be a bloody aggressive partnership. Him and Martinez, you might see a few red cards in there.
The Butchers.
Because Sadipo's not the nicest guy at the back either, so that'd be quite exciting.
United building that, a nice young core. Very nice core.
It's coming along. Very slow, but it's coming along nicely. Yep. All right, so next little segment, Champions League is back, which doesn't matter for either of us because our team, my team sucks, and your team.
I only care about the Europa League.
Yeah,
I've only always cared about the Europa League.
That anthem, mate, it's
too good.
Yeah.
Who wants to be in the Champions League?
When you hear that, your spine tingles and stuff.
Exactly.
But probably the closest out of any of the round of 16, or the most interesting, I think, to keep an eye out for is Napoli-Barcelona.
Yep.
Because both teams have struggled. And whoever loses, they'll be kicking themselves. This is, an opportunity for them to make one of the teams maybe make something out of their season. So, a combined 11 between these guys. It's quite interesting, actually, this one. There's a few players.
I think my team's very average.
Well, on form, my team is very average as well.
Very average.
We'll see how we go. You kick us off. Go the whole team. We'll
whole team. All right. So I've got Ter Stegen in goal.
Yep.
I've got Di Lorenzo at right back.
Yep.
I've gone with Arejo, and I've got Rahmani.
Okay, yeah, fair play. Yeah.
And then Cancelo at left back. I've got Zambo and Gisa at
I went
De Jong and Pedri. I want to put Gundogan in still.
You think Gundo?
Yeah, generally. But I'll stick with that. And Gisa, De Jong and Pedri. And then on the right, I've gone with Yamal.
Yeah, obviously.
Up top, Osimhen.
Yeah.
And he is back for this.
He'll be back for this leg, yeah.
Because I was doing
at least a second
players
leg,
that can, And then left wing, Cavarskelia. Ronaldo. Yeah.
The goat himself.
Yeah.
It's funny that Yamal was the first player I put in this team, by the way. Like, out of all the players, I put in. And then I was like, checked Osimhen was available, and I put Osimhen. Now than that, it was just
I
hit
checked
the dark.
if Osimhen,
So I went to Stegen.
Mm-hmm.
I went to Bowdy, but Cancelo.
Yeah.
De Lorenzo. I went Christensen, and I went Arejo at centre back.
Yeah. I just felt like
both
teams have been average this year. I want to put one of each.
Yeah, fair enough.
And Rahmani's played up, I think, pretty much every game.
Yeah, he's been every since bar. Yeah, I ended up just going with those who probably on just aura themselves because of what they did last year.
No, that's fair enough.
I went Ingisa, Gundogan, and Pedri is like the 10, which I think would be pretty exciting to watch. I think Ingisa is a very critically underrated player.
He's still very good.
Because he was bad at Fulham, everyone sort of just sleeps on him, but he's been very good for them.
Very good, yeah.
I went Kvaratskhelia off the left, Yamal off the right, and Osimhen down the middle. So very similar teams.
Yeah, you got Gundogan though. Yeah,
I just put Gundogan. I just feel like he's just a gun. No matter what team plays, he'll make it 10 times better.
Yeah, I should have put Gundogan. That's all right. Got De Jong.
De Jong's still a good player.
Still a good player, but Gundogan's just been... so good, isn't he? He's such a good player.
And this time of the year is his best time of the year. I know from his history of City.
Watch him score a hat-trick.
Yeah, he'll come out. He'll probably win this game against Napoli off his own back. Just with critical performances. This team is not winning the Champions League, by the way.
Yeah,
and it's not third either. It's not getting to a semi either. This is
maybe a quarter final. Maybe
a quarter final, like
4-1 loss. Europa League and then a Europa League final.
Yeah, and then beat by Sevilla in the Europa League final. That's where it's going to.
Probably quarters.
Yeah, I think a quarter final and a bad loss in a quarter.
If they're playing they are now, I mean, maybe they get knocked out like now.
You're shipping 5 or 6 in 2 legs is what you're doing. You think you can score.
Yeah.
And, if you need to...
Pedri there. Who's your manager?
I had to go Xavi because at least he's been there. Napoli have gone through 3 managers in like 2 years. That's just, it's all over the place.
Yeah. Still Xavi. Yeah.
Interesting. Do you reckon who gets through in that fixture? So I reckon Napoli are probably playing...
Probably Napoli. I don't trust Barca's defence.
Neither.
I think... I know Napoli's defence has been a little shaky, but they'll concede
they can grind
maybe
it out,
one a game.
Yeah. I think Napoli win it 2-1.
Napoli's forward line's better. Midfield, I think, is relatively even.
Yeah, I think it's a battle in there.
And then defence, probably Barca have the names, but Napoli have a better structure.
Consistently, yeah. That's the thing. Whoever plays better in the defence wins this tie.
Yeah. I'd back Napoli.
I think Napoli get through in an ugly 2-1 affair.
Yeah.
1-1 at Barcelona. And
that or like a 6-5 and just vibes and no defending, yeah.
Just go from end to end. Yeah. Just like classic Champions League game, yeah.
Skip the midfield.
Yes, yeah. We've seen a few games skip the midfield race, and I've got to be honest with you. A game that should have skipped the midfield, specifically in Serie A, Inter and Roma. Roma, who've probably the form team under De Rossi, unbeaten under him until now. Until the big boys came to town and just said, nah, get stuffed. Inter win 4-2. Like watching this one back, it was like awful conditions for it, but the quality of play did not miss though. No. I sort of preluded early on about some of the delivery. We saw 2 great headers from Mancini and lesser to a Serbia as well later on, but some of the delivery, I think Mkhitaryan put a great ball to Thuram for his goal.
Yeah, that was the third. That was Inter's third.
And Darmian put a great ball in as well.
Yeah, Darmian to get the equaliser, the 2-2, yeah.
And then, I don't know who put it in for Roma, but for, who put it in from the top of this? It was a dead ball. Cross came in, Mancini.
I don't know who it was.
But it was a great ball there. He didn't have to move, just got his foot to it and it flew in the back of the net. Yeah. Like, high quality standard of game. 40 probably looks... It's probably reasonable, but the last goal came when Roma threw everyone forward. So, I think no discredit for Roma. De Rossi's done great work with his team.
He's done very well.
Bit more license, freedom. You're seeing more from El Shaarawy.
Yeah. His finish. I think he was aiming for the far post. Even Sommer was like...
Someone did this too, and he's like, wait. And it went like behind it to hit the other post and then went in as well. It looked good because it came off 2 posts.
It looked great. In the wet, great. Even the commentator was like, what a finish. I think he was aiming for the far post. But he'll take it.
It's that sort of game, though. You just had to score when you had the opportunity. But Inter again, I'm just like...
I think they've run away with it now.
Well, they're 7 points clear with a game in hand as well.
Yeah, Juventus have...
The back...
Goals have dried up a little now.
Yeah. With Vlahovic, I'll touch on the next game in a bit about Juventus a little bit, but yeah, Vlahovic being out hurt them as well.
I think that's done.
That's done and dusted.
It's disappointing because we had a decent little race going on there. We've got a battle for second though. AC have caught up with...
AC have played some good football. A good win to get... I'll quickly touch on them. They had that was a big win because Napoli were actually good in that game. Yeah. To win 1-0 against those guys.
I don't know how it ended 1-0. It could have been a couple of goals for both sides.
There's like in a lot of games this weekend though, there could have been a lot more goals than there were.
True,
you touched on the what was the game we touched on earlier? Sevilla, Atletico. That could easily be more than 1-0.
Yeah, not greatest finishing.
Yeah,
also decent keepers were decent. So.
Good work for keepers. But yeah, this game it just feels like Inter just got that thing about them at the moment.
Yep.
And I've said a few times they're probably the 3rd best team, but maybe they are. Like,
they probably
they haven't got the names like Real Madrid and Man City, but they're playing at that level.
Their style of football's very, very good, isn't it?
And it works. And it travels. It works. The wet works. And like they're just.
I got a question for you.
Okay.
1-on-1 game, just one leg.
Yeah.
Who wins, Inter or Leverkusen?
Wow, what a game of football we got here.
Inter or Leverkusen?
That's got to be Inter.
Yeah.
Because Inter's back. I think their forwards are incredible, but their back line as well is just like, how do you score against them?
Yeah.
I was impressed that Roma scored 2. Because Bastoni, Acerbi...
Very good goals, though, to be fair.
And I'm almost unmarkable for like attempts. But like Acerbi, Bastoni have got to be in the contention for team of like, at the end of the year, all leagues.
He's been unbelievable, hasn't he?
He's been incredible.
You could shout a case for most of that 11, to be honest. They've been...
We touch on all 3 of their right backs, so any one of those guys. Like, they can play 3 at times, they can play the 4. It just translates so nicely.
Yeah, they're like just a perfect team at the moment. Nothing's really gone wrong. Don't think they've got any injuries at the moment.
Not at the moment. I feel like
I don't think
they get the best of all these players. All the players that play, they've just got the best out of them. Mkhitaryan,
he's doing wonders.
Just knows what to do with these guys.
Even in the transfer market, they don't spend big. They're a huge club.
Yeah,
but they really don't
smart
spend
signings.
Big. Yeah,
this Thuram signing has been one of the most underrated signings of the season.
Sommer as well.
You're right. When you talk about Sommer, ever since I've just recognised what he's doing, this is a guy that's prime of his form. Yeah.
I was so close to putting him in my top 5 keepers, genuinely, because he is
ridiculous.
Even like penalties, he's great. Yeah. Even at Mönchengladbach, when I used to watch them and like Bayern Munich play, because like Mönchengladbach were up the top for a little bit. Like every game, he'd make like 12 saves. That's like, who the fuck
he broke the record something last year for saves.
He saves in a game. He was at Munich, I think, when Neuer was out for a while. They brought him in.
Yeah.
And then went to Inter, and he's probably up there with Maignan, probably first or second best keeper in the Serie A.
Yeah, those two keepers are some of the best in the world
Maignan,
at the moment as well.
Oh, that's hard. Him or Maignan? Probably Maignan.
I think Magnan's got the more complete in terms of the modern goalkeeper. Yeah. But he's got a shot stopper.
Sommer's
that dude for you. Yeah. Reflex saves. It's got all those palms, and I watch it at 9, so everything gets parried and flimsy and stuff. But this guy's palms are like concrete. Yeah. Like when he stops things, like that, the ball loses all velocity. He just comes to a stop, bang, catch, or bang, block. It's just, they've just made the right signings.
Yeah. Manager, they just back the manager with who he wants.
They just play fluid football.
They got Marko Arnautovic in that team. This geezer was in China. He left Stoke. He was unbelievable at Stoke. Then dropped off, went to China. That's him, like a bit of an Oscar.
Yeah.
That's him done.
Career done.
He's come back and he's coming on for
most influentials.
It's ridiculous.
Sanchez is there.
Yeah, Mkhitaryan, we mentioned last week, done at Arsenal. Now he's,
It's
just great coaching, isn't it?
Was the coaching the Serie A? They obviously get the best out of all these players. Talked about last week with the AC guys, Loftus-Cheek and it's just, and then Pulisic and all these guys. It's just like they just know the way to get the best out of their players. Yeah, it's fair, but I think right now I'm thinking you've got City, Liverpool, Real, Leverkusen, and then Inter. I think those 5 right now are looking like the business in terms of teams.
I don't know if I think Inter might. Inter might generally beat Liverpool. I think they're that good.
I think that's where you sort of put that line right. So I think Leverkusen your 5th. Right now I've got Real as my number 1.
Yeah.
I've got City as 1B.
Yeah.
And then I think I've got Inter 2A, 2B.
Liverpool and Inter would be a hell of a game because I love how Inter
different
play
styles
with
of football. It's different styles though. Because Liverpool flood. Inter can get those numbers forward. I think Liverpool play more in possession and more front-footed. But Inter will find a way to nick the ball back and then go and counter and press that exposed team.
Yeah, that would be a hell of a game. Next year we'll see that though.
But Rob's that this year.
Yeah.
You watch Inter somehow draw a Real and they get knocked out in this comp.
I hope they make another final and win it. Yeah. Because Inzaghi that whole club probably deserves it. The way that team how consistent they've been.
Yeah, we said it.
Ages.
We said it.
You said it perfectly.
6 years or something like that. We reckon they're one of the most consistent.
Yeah.
And then finally, just to finish us off, because the gap's so big is because Juventus lost to Udinese. Yeah. Another big club losing to a relegation candidate.
Oh, yeah. These relegation fighters.
Another 1-0, another game where could have been a few goals there for Juventus, just couldn't finish though.
Keeper was good, but it's just not good finishing, to be honest. A lot of the saves he made were kind of straight at him.
Yeah. Saves you expect, right? Reflex saves expect. Yeah. But Vlahovic misses and that's what happens, right?
Yeah, pretty much. Milik, again, he's a good backup, but
he's cost him 2 games now for that red card. Then that red card,
It's like Chiesa wasn't all of his shots.
Chiesa was a lot of just and it was like from edge of the area, so it's like 3 defenders. It was never going to go in, sort of thing.
I mean, AC could easily overtake
them back.
And Leao hasn't scored in 15 games or something like that.
Leao's going through a really rough patch and no one's really talking about.
He's still assisting. Like, he got a big assist. He's still playing well. He's just not finishing.
The way he was just the last 2 seasons.
He starts to click into gear.
Oh, yeah. Because AC starts scoring more. Yeah. Because AC are a team that can blow teams apart.
I think they could finish second for sure, AC.
Are they in the Europa? They got Europa League in the end, didn't they?
Yeah, because Newcastle came last.
Yeah, came last, yeah.
So they have Europa.
That's an interesting team to be around the market there.
They're kind of the underrated kind of underdog, aren't they?
Yeah, because no one's talk about them because of Liverpool and Leverkusen.
Yeah,
that's a team that can...
Yeah, that's a team that could cause... I think Leao has to kick into gear.
Yeah.
There could be some even if he doesn't, like, he's assisting, he's still involved in the play. They could be... That's an underdog.
Let me just quickly, before we finish up, I want to see some of the teams in the Europa League knockouts now.
Have we? Yeah. Have we missed some teams? Because we've just been banging on about Liverpool and Leverkusen.
All right, so Galatasaray in there. Tough place to go play.
Yeah,
You've got Shakhtar in there. Roma. Sporting.
Are these the playoff ones or are these the actual... Because Europa League has playoff ones.
16th. Yes, this will be this is this week, so this will be the playoff
game.
These are the
playoffs, yeah.
It's Galatasaray and Sparta Praha. So I think that's also win that easy.
Yeah.
Marseille and Shakhtar. I think Shakhtar should get the better of Marseille. Marseille haven't been as good as of recent. Feyenoord and Rome will be a good game, but I think Roma's form will carry them through. Young boys and Sporting will put them to the bed. Milan and Rennes, Milan will batter them.
Yeah.
Braga's got some team I've never heard of, so Braga will win that. Benfica will beat Toulouse, and Lyon will probably beat Freiburg, I think.
Ooh, yeah. Freiburg's a tough team to play, though,
pace.
yeah.
But Lyon's turned it around. They started the season a bit poor, and they've sort of fixed up a little bit.
Yeah.
And then they've got the qualified teams in here. No. I'll look at the table and see. So you've got West Ham, Brighton, Rangers as well, Atalanta in there as well.
Atalanta aren't
Liverpool, Villarreal.
Yeah, Villarreal, yep. There's still some decent teams in there.
Slavia Prague, and Leverkusen. Yeah,
it's not going to be as easy.
Might be more entertaining than the Champions League round of 16 is what it could be.
Maybe, yeah. There's decent teams in there, isn't there?
Yeah, in the 16 there. But yeah, tough for Juventus.
Yeah, that's line through them.
Yeah, because it's basically a 10-point gap if the game of hand gets won by Inter. So
even if Inter drop points here and there, Juventus have to win, and just in the style of football. We've said it since probably we started doing this that even it was close, but Inter were
they're the better team,
a 2-3 goal better team.
Yeah,
which they were in the game that they played, and then just in the styles of play.
Yeah, definitely. Well, that's it then. Another good week.
Yep.
I'll record this for the Champions League games, but interesting games across the next few nights. So for Real tonight, it'll be interesting to go against Leipzig.
That'll be an interesting one.
And obviously we previewed the Barca Napoli one, which is next week. They've split the games across.
Yeah.
Which I don't know, it ruins it for me. Yeah. Listen, there's something to watch though. We've got something to come up and talk about next few weeks as well. Another massive week. Thanks, mate.
All good.
Come back on.
All good.
Come on. He expects this week. He came in here saying this. First thing he said he wants 400 this week. We had an average week last week. We've just ticked over 100. We need to bounce back. Right?
Yeah, we're allowed one outlier.
Yeah, he doesn't come back unless you get 200. Yeah. Otherwise, he leaves and then I'm screwed. So we need him to come back. So get us 300, 400. We want some big numbers. And if you could subscribe, if you're new,
let's get
that would
to
be
400.
much appreciated. We're getting close to 400.
400 before we're back here.
400 subs, 400 views. Come on, do it. That'll be the best week of life. Forget Valentine's Day. I don't need Valentine's Day when I got my channel. So you can make me love my channel by getting me some subscribers and views. Thanks again, man, for coming on. Another great week. We'll see you guys next week. Remember, 5 stars on Spotify. Like, comment, subscribe on YouTube. Send us in some of the comments of what you thought about some of the games in our list and stuff. They'll go up on the For You pages on TikTok and the YouTube channel. So let us know what you think of our teams as well. Till next time, guys. See you later.